We're back with a medical emergency.
And it was a little swollen. And he said, you know, Mom, I think it might be broken.
Now a mother saying a bad bill left her with a painful payment.
She took her son to the ER, and when she got the bill, she was floored.
Seemed that bill needed its own checkup, so she called Help Me Howard with Patrick Frazier.
Jason Lilly is 15 years old and already stands 6'4". The good side of that?
We're hoping he will do pro basketball. He enjoys it a lot.
And the downside for Natalie?
I look up at him. He's in trouble. I have to tell him to sit down.
Jason is athletic and loves basketball. And while playing, he was reminded of how tough the game can be.
And it was a little swollen. And he said, you know, Mom, I think it might be broken.
Natalie took the teenager to the emergency room where they x-rayed his thumb.
And then the doctor came in. She introduced herself to us. She said that she had looked at the x-ray and that the thumb is fractured and that the nurse would be coming in to put a splint on it.
Natalie has insurance with a high deductible, so she paid the hospital $300 for their cost. Then she later got a bill from the emergency room doctor, which Natalie says surprised her.
The application of the splint is, I think, $258 on the bill, and it says that it was done by the doctor, and it was not. It was, in fact, done by the nurse.
The other concern, the doctor also charged $526 for the 2 minutes she spent with him telling them Jason's thumb was broken.
If you prorated that and assumed that she worked a 40-hour week like most of the world, the rates that I'm paying her would equate $32.8 million per year.
Natalie called the doctor's office to complain about the nearly $800 bill.
Asked if it was possible to have a word with the doctor. They said no.
To avoid being turned over to a collection agency, Natalie paid the bill. But her irritation at being charged by the doctor to put on a splint when the nurse did it did not go away.
I can't believe that a doctor would say I put on a splint if she didn't.
Well, Howard, it's a medical bill that Natalie is not happy with, but what can a patient do?
The law says that every patient can contest any unreasonable bill. The problem with winning the battle is you don't know how much time the doctor spent on your case out of your sight. But where you can win is what you can see, like the person who put on the splint.
Actually, 80 to 90% of all hospital bills contain errors.
Holly Wallach runs Administrative Solutions Plus, where she reviews medical bills for patients and insurance companies. She offered to look at Jason's bill for free and determined Natalie could not dispute the $526 for the 2-minute doctor visit. But she concluded Natalie did not have to pay the doctor for the splint that the nurse put on Jason.
If the splint was supervised by the emergency room physician, then the emergency room physician can bill for it even though he really didn't do it. In this particular case, there was no supervision. There was no note in the chart. The emergency room physician never saw the splint after it was put on, and therefore, they cannot bill for it.
It took Holly several phone calls and emails to get a refund from the doctor, and she did get it for Natalie. And if you have a medical bill you think has errors, how can you fight it? Holly's advice, get an expert.
It's almost impossible for an individual without any prior knowledge to CPT codes or ICD-9 codes or hospital billing to do this on their own.
Note to self, if a bill involves codes and descriptions over my head, get an expert. And Holly says she will look at patients' bills, and if she cannot help, she won't charge. If you want to contact her, her information is on our website at WSVN.com under Help Me Howard. Troubles broken your spirit, need to be patched up? Contact us. We can't put a splint on, but we can tie up legal loose ends. With this Help Me Howard, I'm Patrick Frazier, 7 News.